Hello, welcome to another video. So this episode, I'm going to be starting a new series. So this series, I'm going to be, well, I've never learned this language before. I've looked like a couple things about it, written a little hello world and not much else. But yeah, so I'm going to be looking at a programming language called Odin. And I thought, what better way to learn a language than to write a virtual machine for it, for um, a game that I used to play when I was a child. So Odin is, I don't know, it's a data orientated language for, say, in software development. I'm not sure what that is meant to mean in English, but yeah, it's basically just another kind of C-like program. And yeah, it's kind of new. So I think it's still like, uh, if we look at some docs, um, I don't know what latest version it is. Get a few clicks. Yeah, so it's still like in development mode. It's not like a stable language. Um, and so the project I'm going to be working on is working to build a virtual an interpreter for a virtual machine called the Z machine. The Z machine was a virtual machine that was developed by a few people in 1979. And it was basically used to play text adventure games. One in particular was, I'm not sure why that was right down the bottom. Let's scroll up to the top. One in particular was this game, Zork, which I used to play as a child. So I thought, might as well see if I can write a virtual machine in a new language I've never used. And if so, then that would be cool. I can play it on something I've written myself. I have actually written like kind of unfinished versions of virtual machines for this interpreters, I guess you would call it, interpreters for this virtual machine in the past in other languages. But I get bored, so I kind of stop. But this is kind of good milestone of learning a language, of trying to finish a project. So this is a project I do intend to finish, at least enough that I can play this game. So Zork is originally developed by a company called Infocom back in like the 70s and 80s. They were active, and they got bought out by Activision. And as far as I know, Activision still owns the intellectual property of basically their franchise. So basically they own the copyright to Zork 1, so you have to have like a legal copy to actually use it. Luckily, I played this as a child, so I do actually have a legal copy. Um, and there are specifications on how it all works. So there's like a couple of standards documents. This one is like the original one that someone wrote. And yeah, so it's been updated a few times, but it's fairly old. And as you can see, it was written back when like people wrote like in raw HTML, I guess. And so it's not very well laid out. And so someone has kind of annotated it and made a much nicer to read standards document. Um, there are other standards. So there's like a standard for saving games and a standard to like store like graphics and sounds and stuff. I won't be looking at the graphics and sounds side of things. I might look at the save game, Quetzal. Um, but yeah, graphics and sounds didn't exist in the earlier versions of these text adventures. They were purely text adventures. So yeah, I guess with that said, what I'll do is, so as you can see, I've got like a single project. It's got a hello world, and in it, it's got a hello.odin, and I don't know, I did some like other stuff just to see how you print stuff and like how you assign stuff and how you would change things to be constants or variables. And yeah, just different types of things. But what I intend to do is kind of follow along with the documentation and kind of look through like the base packages. There's a few packages. So there's like base library, core library, and vendor library, which I probably won't be looking too much in the vendor library, but it's got some kind of things that might be useful in later days, I guess. Like if I want to do add imaging to this, I might use the SDL2, for example, or probably just Raylib. Raylib's pretty I like Raylib. It's like nice and low level, and cross-platform. It just does things well. I probably won't need OpenGL. These are very simple games from back in the day. But yeah, I will probably just use stuff from the core library, so you can see it's got a bunch of things there, and also the base library, which is kind of the built-in intrinsics and runtimes. And so that's about it. There are actually interpreters for this already. One, for example, is called Frobozz. That's one I have used in the past. And what I'll do is, I think, what can we do? We don't actually make a new directory with this. So I'll just in it maybe a Z machine. Or what could I call it? I could call it like Zodin. Nah. I could call it Odin's. Yeah, Odin's kind of sounds cool. Because it's like Odin Z. So in Odin's, what I might do is I'll start off with doing a git ignore, and I'll start with doing roms, and maybe even yeah. Well, in fact, I'll just ignore all of roms. So that way I can make the roms, and I could copy my. Actually, I'll do that off screen somewhere, like maybe here. Uh, yeah, I can just do that, and if I do, I can copy from here, the machines, or uh, get this. Yeah, that's the file I want, and I will be copying it to the source personal Odin's and runs, and making include that secrets. So now if we look in ROMs, it'll have a file there. And for example, we can play this by doing this. And this is kind of what these games look like. So that you kind of get pumped out into a bunch of text, and you get where you are and a description of what is happening. In this interpreter, you also get the where you are up here and the score and the moves. Different games have different interpretations of whether you have a score and moves and what they mean. Some might have a time, some might, yeah. There's a whole bunch of things, and that's described in the ROM file itself. But yeah, for example, you can like go north. So you can either write go north, or you can write just north, or you can just write in, because like who wants to write everything? And then you move to a different location. And if you move back to where you were, it doesn't give you that full description of you're standing in an open field, blah blah blah. So that's kind of the game. If I could get my interpreter to show this much, that would be great. It won't happen today. That's that. Tags is all right. That's already ignored, I believe. Yeah. So what I might do is also just do like a change my keyboard settings. Um, so like I've put my modifiers on my home row, if anyone knows what that means. Basically, my Control Alt Shift and Windows key is where the ASDF are. So if I hold them, they're the modifier. If I don't, then they're not. And it's taking a bit of time for the brain to adjust, but it's getting there quite quick. So, what am I going to say here? Maybe I'm going to call this Odin's. Odin's. See, that's an example. That's one thing, but shift that is full colon. Uh, and with picture for the Z machine. And we'll just have like that's kind of just to remind me to put something in there. I'm not sure that's the right format for the header. Yeah, let me be like no, I don't know. It might just be that. I thought I had some highlighting if it did. But yeah, what I might do is just get add that readme and get ignore and get commit initial commit initial commit, just to get something out there. And from there, we need to kind of make a new file. So yeah, we need a file. So maybe if we just copy that hello world, hello.odin, like here, but maybe move it to I don't know, Odin's. So this is going to be our entry point, which is shown by the main. So we don't need this stuff, and we don't really need any of that. We'll just start with like a nice simple hello world. So if we go Odin run dot, it'll print out hello world. So I think the first thing we need to do is try and work out how to parse the ROM file. So if we look at this one, for example, it's got a bunch of 5Es at the end. There's a reason for that. But yeah, if we kind of look at this, we can see that it's basically just binary. In fact, there's no text in it, which you might wonder, well, how do you play a text game with no text? And like so it's like kind of stored in here in quite an interesting way, which we'll get to. But These first like 30 bytes are well, actually, let's just go to the specs. So we could read these specs, or we can read these slightly better specs. So if we look at the memory map, we can see. No, just fundamentals tables. Yeah, format of the header. It's like not at the start for some reason. There's also stuff like info dump. I don't actually have it. I wonder if I TXD. Nah, I think you can't like just install that from there, but you might be able to find it from this this page here. Yeah, here. So there's like a couple of things, TXT and info dump, which people have made to kind of decode them. So I think I might want to find these and get them installed. Uh, TXT, the machine. Yeah, tools. It was just on the same website, but I don't know. They don't like link to it, even though it's like on the same website, and it's kind of annoying that it defaults to HTTP. Should be defaulting to HTTPS everywhere, but that's what I get. So if I go to, do we have like my operating system doesn't exist, I guess. It's close to FreeBSD, but it's not quite. It's Linux, which I don't know. That's right. I can get the source. That's right. I'll just download it myself. Thanks. So what I might do is open up a new window, source, third party. Actually, no, it's just wget. Which now we'll make a lead tools, and we'll wget this. And what is that one? And so now we want to that way around. No, XF. Right, and so that would have made like a bunch of things, and if we make that, we probably get a bunch of things. I've done this before. So if we, I kind of want to, maybe I'll just make it just the local here. Sometimes like the my keys don't actually stick. Potentially I'll flip back to my other one, but I have to push buttons and it makes lots of beeps. So maybe I won't do it here. But yeah, I'll do source third party Z tools as well as just as well as dollar. So now I can go ext. So now if we don't need that anymore, if we go txd and we can look at this first one here, we can see it has like a bunch of things. Maybe we can put that through a pager, and we can see that it kind of breaks it down into kind of assembly-ish code. But it's a different assembly because this is targeted for a different virtual machine than well, it's targeted for a virtual machine rather than real hardware. Um, so part of my goal would be to make something like this as well, because if you can make a disassembler, you can kind of do it. And what was the other one? Info, yeah, info dump, and we can also do ROMs, Zork, and this will kind of dump the header into kind of what it's meant to do. So here we can see before I was saying whether you should do score moves or time and something else, that's kind of said somewhere. And all of this information is stored in the header, which I'll take a look at. So the first byte, which if we maybe we'll open up a tab over here and sort personal within Odin. And once I get something more than just a to do and a readme, I'll move this out into a published and I'll put on the GitHub, which potentially will be maybe at the end of this, but maybe not. This one will probably just be a lot of talking about the formats and stuff, and probably not too much coding. And that's how it is. But yeah, anyway, if we xxd runs that and put factory less again, can we no that wrong button. Can we what? Oh, that, yeah. No. Gosh. Anyway, I also don't want to. I can probably just do HD ROMs there. No. There's like one way you can count it there. It doesn't actually tell you the things. And this is the way I want. So here, then we can just pipe that through less and not that one. Need to remember which one is my control and which is the shift. But yeah, so this is how things are, and we can see. So this like first set of numbers is just the address that it's looking at, and then the next bunch of numbers are the bytes. So we can see here that the at address 0, it's the version number, and does it say how much it takes up? Well, like clearly this one is taking up. I don't really want to do that. It's taking up 2 bytes. So each of these digits is 1 nibble, and then 2 digits is 1 byte, and then 4 digits is 2 bytes. And I think this might have actually got mentioned in the overview that it kind of says that, yeah, bits, bytes. So you have a bit, a byte, which is that 2 bytes, which is a word. So it is byte addressable, but things are kind of stored. Yeah, so the header. I don't know, maybe this is saying it's, well, like, it surely is 2 bytes because that's saying 3, and I know it's version 3 because, like, version 0 just doesn't actually exist. Um, I mean, this isn't it. This is what I want. Yeah, so this is the annotated version. So here we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's still reckoning that it's. Is this like not doing it in the right Indian? Um, what did this one say? Yeah, so this is saying that it's showing the 3 first. What I might do is just look up this and like kind of work out how to not show the strings because I know it's not doing it. All right, hex dump minus E. We'll just do that. Hex dump. Let's do that minus B minus E, wasn't it? All right. Well, I suppose maybe that's actually a different command. Yeah, I see. In the end, just doesn't exist. All right. I just don't want the ASCII. Um, what doesn't show the ASCII? Oh, this just doesn't have anything that says don't show the ASCII. I don't know. What about this one? Is there just no way? Maybe. Gosh, what a thing to get stuck up on. I don't really want it in the wrong format. Format. Don't want that. Gosh. YouTube. Big. Right, I guess I will just have it with XXD and it will have the bit more space. Well, I guess I can have something like that and we can just like ignore the second line. Yeah, so this is that. And we can see there the 3 means that the version is 3. And then the next one is flags 1, so that's 0, 0. And here we can see versions 1 to 3. That bit means that, that bit means that, etc., etc. And these stars means that it's dynamic from memory. Yeah, so that means that it can get set by the interpreter, and that has to be reset that well after you reset or restore a game. And so here we can see 0 means scores turns, and that's why it says score moves rather than hours minutes. So yeah, this is basically the header format. I think I'll leave it there for today, and next episode I'll go through and basically implement this header and try and get similar output to this. Um, but yeah, all using the Odin language. But yeah, that's all. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.